So we'll go to verse number 13 straight away. Panchaitani mahabāho कारणानि निर्बोधमे संख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम्. So as you all are aware of that we are in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita after a long back gap. Even though we have seen up to this verse number 12, 13 we have also touched. However, let me summarize quickly so that you know where you stand. So the methodology of Bhagavad Gita starts with Sankshepa, Vistara and Sankshepa. Means in brief, then starts expanding, then again summarizes. So in capsule format, then expands, then again puts it back in capsule format. So when we look at second chapter, it was in capsule format. Then from 13th to 17th is explanation. 18 again is summarizing. So now question may arise. So what does it do? So what is the essence of the whole teaching? So the essence of the whole teaching is Tvam Tat Asiti. So you are that. So that's why if we look at Bhagavad Gita, so we say broadly, so six chapters we dedicate to one concept. So first 6 chapters, even the first chapter is not required, it was just preparation. So from second chapter to 6th chapter dedicated to Tvam Pada. So highlighting that what is the individuality? You, the individuality. Then comes Tatpada Vichara. From 7th to 12th analyzes the Ishvara Pada. And finally comes from 13 to 18 Ashi Pada. That equation, the relationship. And technically if you want to say, actually from second, even though if you take at capsule format, 3rd to 6, 6 to 12 and 13 to 17 also can be said. How? When this is being taught, it also categorizes the subject matter into 3 categories. So in the name of Karma Yoga, in the name of Upasana Yoga, and in the name of Jnana Yoga. Don't bring Bhakti Yoga, okay? There is nothing called Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti se Mukti, ye nahi hoga, okay? Ye nahi chalega either. This will not work here. So we have to be very careful. So one is called Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga was being highlighted first 6 chapters, you can say. Then comes next 6 chapters was being highlighted Upasana Yoga. And the final, these 6 chapters, or you can say 5 chapters, if you want to be very precise, that was being highlighted called Jnana Yoga. We have seen all these things, okay? Now, what is the purpose of this Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga and Jnana Yoga? So, the purpose of Karma Yoga is the purification of the mind. Whereas Upasana Yoga, the purpose of Upasana Yoga is aligning the mind. So, purified mind need not be aligned. So, that's why the alignment has to be done. Integration has to be made. So that happens through Upasana. And finally called Jnana Yoga. Through this, one is able to remove the ignorance. So being this, now we are in 18th chapter. Arjuna, as you know background, somehow he wanted to escape as anyone wants. So when he wanted to escape, and for him escapism is nothing but to take sannyasa. That's why he came up with the question. That was the opening of this chapter. So the question was very clear in his mind because he did not want anything. He used this word, sannyasasya mahava tattvam ichhami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha pruthak kesini sudana. So Arjuna asked this question very carefully. Oh my dear Krishna, O Lord of senses, Hrishikesha. And not only that, you are Kesini Sudana, you are destroyer of Keshi, the demon. Now I would like to know differently. This is my desire. I desire to know differently, clearly, the true nature of sannyasa and tyaga. So he uses, because he wants to play with the words. And of course, Lord Krishna is very careful. This is what teaching is. Because we don't answer the question, we look at who is asking question and what is the purpose behind it. Because there is no point of answering question of a person, a questioner. We need to understand what is the purpose behind it. How? So when Lord Krishna understands as a teacher, so he says, look, he quotes people, what is the common thinking? So it goes on and on. Then finally he comes to the point, hey look, these are the matters, these are the points, these are the sayings of other people. But I would say very clearly, there is no difference between sannyasa and tyaga. That we have seen, okay? Just I am summarizing, okay? Don't look at me what I am talking, where from I am talking, okay? So when he says, look, I highlight here that look, there is no difference between sannyasa and tyaga. Then he goes further. He says, look, sannyasa can be divided into three categories. So then he highlighted what? Instead of sattvic, rājasic and tamasic sannyasa, he highlighted or he started from tamasic sannyasa. So that tamasic sannyasa, whatever he highlighted, up to 12, let us say. Now, this karma yoga was being discussed in the form of sattvic sannyasa. So when this, remember, he used this word karma yoga, here is a new terminology he used, through sāttvika sannyasa is equal to karma yoga. So why? Because please understand the concept very carefully. You need to see. Please see, as long as there is deha-abhimāna, if you observe our posts, as long as there is deha-abhimāna, deha-abhimāna means, deha means body, abhimāna means identification. So as long as I identify with my body-mind complex, that long, whether I like it or not, that long I will be a bhokta and I will be a kartaḥ. I cannot escape from this. And for that, there is no sannyasa. No sannyasa is possible. And of course, when I need to look at, because as long as there is deha-abhimāna, that long karma will continue. Because karma has nothing to do with anything other than kartaḥ. As long as there is a sense of doership in me, whatever I do, there will be kartaḥ or not, there will be karma or not. Because that is what the karma definition. And any karma has a karma phala or not. It has to be have. Because karma cannot stop karma phala, the result of action. So that's why when it is told very nicely, in verse number 11, Lord Krishna highlighted it. Nahi dehavruta shakyam tyaktum karmani asesataha. Yahatu karma phalatyagi satyagiti abhidiyate. So he came to the conclusion that look, whoever is associated with the body-mind complex, For that person, it is impossible, it is not possible at all to renounce actions completely. It is not possible. So that's why instead of keeping yourself away from the karma, better consider what? To renounce the result of action. And here is being said, that is called sahatyagiti avidhiyate. That person is considered as a true renunciate. So while discussing also he said, look, because any karma has to have karma phala. And all karma phalas are divided into three categories. One is ishtam, other one is anishtam, third one is called mishram. Verse number 12. So ishtam means that which is desirable in the name of punyam. Anishtam means that which is not desirable, undesirable, means in the form of papa. So mishra means mixture. So this karma will bring three types of karma phala. Either it will bring punya, so that better janma, higher locus, or lower janma, lower locus, or mishra, human birth, okay? Mixture, okay? So that's why every human being is a mishra. And interestingly, he said one more, that look, this is the format of every human being. Especially after death, these three will continue. But, he says beautifully, natu sannyasinam, natu kochit sannyasinam, means, natu kochit sannyasinam means, but never for renunciate. So for a common person, for a non-renunciate, any karma is being done, it has to bring three types of results. Either ishtam, desirable in the form of punyam, anishtam, undesirable in the form of papam, or mishra, after death also. Because that only denotes my next birth. But it will never happen for the renunciate. Why? Because renunciate has already worked with karma phala tyagam. And interestingly, he highlights, this is how we say very carefully, that kartutva bhavam brings karma in my life. Because I am a doer, the sense of doership called kartutva bhavam, okay? I am a doer. Why? Because I want to enjoy. Deep within, I am an enjoyer. So because I want to enjoy, or already I am an enjoyer, that's why I am a karta, a doer. So if this is the case, now what I need to look at here, this sense of doership and enjoyership, as long as they are in me, that long karma will continue, and whatever karma I do, karma phalam will be attached to me. Whereas when I give up the phalam of karma, but karma continues, now the phalam will not be attached to me. That's why natu sannyasinam kochit. Natu kochit sannyasinam iti. But never for a renunciate. That's why if you observe very nicely, we say, a karta does karma. That's why no animal can do karma action. We technically use very carefully. Animals action in English, this is the limitation in English. No animal can do karma. They cannot act. So we call, they can put effort, chesta. but they cannot act. So because they cannot act, that's why karma phala, remember, is not attached to the animal. Especially pauruṣya karma phala, remote karma phala. Suppose if you look at, have you seen any animal plans deliberately and does? Especially dogs, street dogs, busy, 24 hours. Go and ask, like a journalist, you take a boom and say, look, the moment they see boom also they will adjust themselves. Bo, bo, bo. Okay. So what are you doing? So I am now presenting myself because election is coming 2024. No. I am another person. No, I am a religious. Okay. In India now, religious movement is taking place. So in Odisha there is one, in Uttar Pradesh, Ayodhya temple. Now we are busy coming together to celebrate. Will a dog say this? A dog never plans. Whatever comes to their mind, they just act. They just follow. Instead of act, they just follow. They follow their instinct. That's why we don't punish a dog, any animal. We may hit, but there is no law to punish them unless you are a judge in India, okay? So, Indian judges can punish animal, okay? I don't know what sort of judges they are. One judge did it. However, coming back to the point here is being highlighted very carefully that karma phala tyaga itself is sannyasa. That's why in verse number 13 he highlights, that's what we are supposed to say. Now from 13 to 17 we are getting into another chapter that is called Jnana Yoga, which we have discussed elaborately in second chapter, third chapter, in fourth chapter. All the chapters have been discussed. Now here brings this also. So in few verses he highlights, he wants to talk about the process of this karma, and which we have seen. Panchaitani maha-bāho karanani nibodhami sankhe krutante proktani siddhaye sarva karmana. So that means, oh Arjuna. Now he says, look very carefully. Nibodhami, may you understand from me. So what you need to understand from me? Yetani pancha karanani. So these are the 5 factors. What are they? Don't ask. We'll be seeing. He will be saying in the next verse. And these are the siddhaye, necessary for the accomplishment of what? Sarva karmanam, for all actions. Whatever actions you may do. It is not talked by me. Lord Krishna says that it is not my creation. Proktani. It has been mentioned already. They are mentioned where? Sankhe krutante ityarthaha. In Vedanta Shastra. It has been talked in Upanishads. Sankshe Vedanta krutante. So that means what? Please understand where the karma kanda, kruta means karma. So where the karma kanda ends means in Vedanta Shastra, it has been already talked. Now, instead of getting into too much, now he says, look, what are the things? How to look at them? Let us read verse number 14 so that it becomes easier for us to see. Or else we'll be talking and talking. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha pruthak vidham vividhasya pruthak cheshtha taivam chaivatra panchamam. So nicely we need to understand very carefully. So Lord Krishna starts enumerating these 5 factors. So first he says, Adhishthanam. Now, Adhishthanam means that which is the foundation. So, in whose presence all activities takes place. So that which is visible, because don't forget this aspect, there is chetana and achetana. What called me is the mixture of chetana and achetana. So chetana means conscious principle, achetana means inert. I hope remember we have discussed long back in details how this confusion happens. Me being chetana is invisible, but achetana, the inert one, is visible. Like the bulb is always visible. Electricity is not visible. Now, here the achetana part, the visible part, is first is the body. And that is the base, that is the foundation of all activities. Or else you will start grumbling like anything. I want to do many things, what my body does not support. And sometimes body support, mind does not support. Sometimes body, mind both supports, situation does not support. So people have always excuse, okay? So when body, mind and situation supports, then frustration comes. What is the purpose? Anyway, let me not get into too much. So he says, look, basically, let us look at the verse. Before looking at the verse, I can say, we need 5 factors for any karma. So what are the 5? 4 koshas. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, and vijnanamaya kosha. We'll see the verse later on, okay? We'll relate with the verse, so that easier to remember. For any action, we need these 4 koshas. Then what is 5th one? Is it anandamaya kosha? No, because anandamaya kosha is related to what? Sleep. So no karma will take place. So don't bring anandamaya kosha here. So the 5th one is called daivam. It's very easy to remember. So 4 koshas plus daivam, the divinity, the presiding deity, put together is responsible for any action. How? Let us read this verse, what it says, so that it becomes easier. It says, look, adhishthanam. So adhishthanam means annamaya kosha, physical body. Then comes vividhaha cha pruthak cheshtha. So vividha means diverse, cha and pruthak cheshtha, and different functions means pranamaya kosha. How it works. Then he says, pruthak vidham cha karanam iti, and various instrument means manomaya kosha. Tatha also karta. So karta means here who? Vijnanamaya kosha, the doer. Cha eva daivam, and the presiding divinity, atra panchamam iti. Here these are the 5. Now, if you observe this point, how these 5 handles, or we are being handled by these 5 better. That's why one has to be very careful. When we do any action, these 5 are involved and nobody can escape. In fact, let us read also verse number 15, nothing much is there, so that we can cover that too. Sharira bang manobhihi yat karma prarabhate naraha nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetavah. Says yat karma means whatever karma, nyayam ba viparitam. Whether it is proper, dharmam ba adharmam. Viparitam means opposite. Whether it is nyaya or anyaya. Whether it is related to dharma or it is adharma. Whether it is proper or improper. Naraha prarabhate. Naraha means a human being. So not a man, okay? A human being, any person undertakes. So whether he says, look, shariram bhat manobhihi, how? With the help of the body, speech or mind. Because there are three types of karma: kaika, vachika and manasika. Physical, verbal and mental. Tasya yete hetavaha, yete pancha hetavaha. So these actions that we undertake, they have these 5 causes. So that means I cannot escape from this. So now the question may arise. Here one need to see very carefully. If anything I do, whether I do puja or I do meditation japam, or I do japam both ways. Japam can come under verbal, also manasa japa is called mental action. In all the way, now these 5 are involved. All the koshas are involved. That's why if you observe, especially how any action, especially these 5s are involved. Let us say, now I am talking. Now this speaking is an action. You are listening, also action, very subtle point. Now when I am speaking, physical body is must. Forget about physical body. If my tooth, 1 or 2 teeth missing, what will happen? Push, 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 push. Nothing you can understand, okay? Just 2, 3 teeth missing. So that's why people put all the sadham, not to look beautiful, at least to listen, other can listen to properly, okay? So physical body is must. Then of course you need prana, the breathing. If this physiological activity does not take place, what will happen? You know better. And of course you need mind. I need my mind. And most important thing is Vijnanamaya kosha, whether to speak or not, whether to listen to or not, that choice is there. So these 4 are there very much. And apart from these 4, also there is something that is called what? Daivam, the presiding deity. So we have seen in Tattvabodha, Hastayoho, for hands, who is the presiding deity? Indra, okay? We forgot, huh? Back, Vanni, Chakshu, Surya. Come on. Padayoho, Vishnu. Anyway. So these are the presiding deity. So with the help of presiding deity, because everything can be there, but it doesn't function. That's why ear is there, everything is there, but something is there. The presiding deity is weaker. When presiding deity is not invoked, properly placed, everything will be there, but it will not function. That's why if the presiding deity is weaker, it is completely connected to your prarabdha. So the mixture of life is nothing. Purushartha and prarabdha. So to invoke prarabdha, we bring this presiding deity, Daivam. So any karma signifies both purushartha and prarabdha, your effort and your previous karma phala. So put together these two only is useful that for a karma. That's why to take care of prarabdha, because prarabdha is a dark, unknown. So how to go in unknown, in darkness? How to approach darkness? So to approach darkness, you cannot be smart, you cannot be intelligent. More you become intelligent and smart, more what happens? You fall. Does it happen or not? That's why smart people, intelligent people become more and more failure in life. So there comes trust. There comes shraddha. So the prarabdha can be handled only by shraddha, not by your smartness. It doesn't work. So that's why both purushartha and prarabdha forms the karma. More of it we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.